In hour one, we talked about the four commitments LSU landed. KJ Green, Brennen Lacy, Markez Davis, Cade Cooper, 4 commits for LSU coming off this official visit weekend as LSU's doubled its class from 4 commits to 8. But more so than just talking about the players and how they fit, I think this is a very clear illustration of how Lane Kiffin and Billy Glasscock are building this roster. Now, I've referenced this often, but I want to use this soundbite now to illustrate this further, given what we've seen over the past 2 days, okay? So, during spring football, just a few months ago, Lane Kiffin, during one of his press conferences, the question he was asked was actually about the tight ends, which is weird, but it's just an illustration that he's going to say and get whatever message he wants out there. And he was asked about the tight ends because they have a lot of different tight ends, like stylistically. You know, you've got Trey'Dez, and then you brought in Zach Grace via the portal, and you got J.D. LaFleur hanging around. You understand. Anyway. But what Lane ended up doing was using that as an opportunity to talk about how their staff evaluates roster talent and what they prioritize in this era. Give a listen, then I'm going to come on the backside of this soundbite and explain how it fits in with these 4 commitments they got.
I challenge our guys to make sure we evaluate who they are really, really well. Who is the player as they're coming out of high school? What is their mindset? How competitive are they? Because what's going to happen is most likely it's not going to go like they want in the first year. And then get into your analytics of, okay, well, if they're going to, or you're going to pay them, and then they're going to leave after year 1, then what did you really get out of them from a business sense versus the money going somewhere else? So I really try to find that in tight ends, but in all of our players, okay, who really are they in nowadays setup that it is, so that they are competitive enough that this is the place they want to be at, and are they going to stay through some adversity, which is what they need to play through too as a good player. So obviously character was always part of the evaluation, but I've moved it a lot higher now because of the ability to leave, where before you got the 17-year-old, well, he was really stuck with you for 4 years. So he had to eventually buy Henry, which was never going to play. Now they really don't have to. They just go somewhere else.
Okay. In that soundbite, Lane Kiffin is saying, we are evaluating character because we're not going to pay someone to come here, sit for a year, and then leave. So really, there's 2 scenarios that Lane Kiffin, Billy Glasscock, their staff look at when they're recruiting high school now. One, it's easy. It's the elite level guy that is plug and play and is going to be immediate impact. You will pay Lamar Brown because he is the number 1 player in the country, and you are expecting Lamar Brown to step on the field game 1 against Clemson and give you snaps. You will pay Easton Royal because you expect Easton Royal, if he flips from Texas, he is going to step on the field day 1 and be an impact receiver in this offense. You will not pay Joshua Dobson, not because you don't value corners, but because in 2027, DJ Pickett is going to be back. P.J. Woodland could be back. Haven Finney, Aiden Anding, Jakeem Jackson could be back. Your entire cornerback room could be back. So there's not an obvious path to the field in year 1. So why pay him? Invest those resources elsewhere. And then, if there are players you're not going to pay, what's their character? How competitive are they? Because things probably aren't going to go their way year 1. Are they willing to stay, develop, get better? And what you saw in these 4 commitments is a very clear illustration of that. The first commit was KJ Green. 24/7 Sports ranks KJ Green as the number 8 overall prospect in America, regardless of position. He is a 5-star. He is an edge rusher that everybody wanted. You lost Jaden Bryant. 4 days later, you get KJ Green. You're paying him. And I was able to confirm today via people close to the program that LSU is paying high school NIL only to the top guys in this class. All the commitments are not getting high school NIL money. Ahmad Hudson is. KJ Green is. Nobody else is. So it's obvious. You're going to pay KJ Green because even when you look at the edge position for next year, Prince Will Umanmielen is going to be gone. Jordan Ross could come back for his senior year, but everybody else, Damian Shanklin, Dylan Carpenter, Lamar Brown, Trenton Henderson, Gabe Relaford coming off of injury, Kalaj Cobbins, like, they're all back. The one guy you know for sure is not back, one that you know for certain is not going to be back, is Prince William-Monbielen because he's out of eligibility. Everybody else could be back, but while you probably lose somebody in the portal, you're going to use a rotation at defensive end. So you can pay a guy, even if he's not a starter, if he's going to give you impactful snaps like you're going to do this year with Lamar Brown. So then look at the other three prospects. Brennen Lacy, Markez Davis, Cade Cooper. Brennen Lacy's a running back from Frisco, Texas. He is not a very highly ranked prospect. When you look at Lacy, 6'1", 187, his ranking, according to the Rivals industry, you're talking about a guy that is a low 3-star prospect. He's number 908 nationally. That don't look like Leonard Fournette or Darius Geis or Clyde Edwards-Helaire or any of the top running backs that LSU's brought through over the years. These premium elite level running backs. Why? Well, Harlan Berry's one of those, and guess what Harlan Berry's going to be playing in 2027? At LSU as a junior. So guess who you're paying? Harlan Berry. By the way, Harlan Berry, Caden Durham, Dylan Jones, Stacey Gage, Racine Guillory, like every running back that the four you signed in the portal and the two you brought back all have eligibility in 2027. So now, I'm not saying they're all definitely going to return. Some could hit the portal. But Harlan Berry's going to be back for a third year in his junior season. And you're paying Harlan Berry this year upper 6 figures, high 6 figures. So why would you go invest in a freshman running back that's going to sit? You wouldn't. So you go bring in a 3-star guy that Kevin Smith loves. By the way, Lacy told Rivals, Sam Spiegelman, quote, "They see something in me, and Coach Kevin Smith wants to extract that talent out and dominate. He's big on developing, and I believe he can develop me." Again, there's a buzzword. Develop, develop, develop. You see what they're doing. They're going after elite level guys that'll be immediate impact guys, and they're going after developmental guys that aren't going to cost them anything and hoping they hit. Markez Davis, 3-star cornerback, 6'3", 180, two-sport guy, 1,000 points in basketball, been playing receiver in football. Corey Raymond likes him as a corner. I just told you, all of your scholarship cornerbacks on this year's team in 2026, every single one of them has eligibility to return in 2027. DJ Pickett, Jakeem Jackson, PJ Woodland, Michael Turner, Haven Finney, Aiden Anding, Traylon James, Amari Peterson, Craig Walton, Des Ellis, all of them. They all have eligibility for 2027. That's why you're not going after Josh Dobson, but you'll go sign Markez Davis, who's a 3-star from Louisiana, who you hope will come, be patient, develop, grow, learn under Corey Raymond, and maybe one day be a really good player. Look at the receiver, Cade Cooper, who committed, the last of this group of 4 that committed. This is another guy who's a low 3-star. Forgive me. Cade Cooper's actually rated as a 4-star. Forgive me. Cade Cooper's rated as a 4-star, and he's got some big-time offers. He's got Auburn and Ohio State and Georgia and Notre Dame, Ole Miss. Like, he's got big offers, okay? And nationally, he's number 366. If you look at the receiver, he's the 52nd best receiver in the country, Cade Cooper. You got 13 scholarship wide receivers on this year's team. 12 of the 13 have eligibility to return. Remember what Lane Kiffin said during the spring when he was talking about the receivers? Because they went and added 9 portal receivers, but they didn't go add an elite top-level receiver. He told you why.
We try to balance the room more. If you think of it as like, here's your cap number for a room, instead of being really top heavy with 1 and 2 and then not having depth. I think when we've been our best, it's because we've had 4 to 5 to 6 receivers that can all play really well. And so that's what we're striving for here.
4, 5, 6 receivers that can all play well. This isn't rocket science. You can go look at the years Lane Kiffin was at Ole Miss, and it spells out. Last year, they had 6 pass catchers that had over 600 receiving yards. LSU had 1. and Berrien Brown. That was it. Like, he's not going to have Jamar Chase, who's got 1,700 receiving yards. Trey Harris, being a 1,000-yard receiver, is an outlier for Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin. He wants to distribute the ball to 4 to 6 guys that can all be impactful pass catchers. Throw the tight end in that mix as well. So go get a dozen receivers. Hope of those dozen, 4 to 6 emerge. Well, if you can get Easton Royal, who will be an immediate impact game breaker, you'll spend on Easton Royal. But by and large, what you want to do is stockpile that room with talent, with different sizes, skill sets, speed, strength, height, reach, all catch rates, all that stuff, and hope throughout the course of the season 4 to 6 of them emerge. So that's what you're seeing here. Cade Cooper's a guy that probably isn't going to be an impact guy day one on LSU's campus. But he's a guy, when you look at the receivers that they have committed in this class, you've got 3 dudes that have 3 very different sizes and skill sets among the committed receivers for LSU. Braylon Calais is 6'1", 200 pounds. Amari Stevens is 5'10", 165. Cooper's 6'2", 190. So you've got 3 very different receivers, but all guys that are likely coming to campus to sit, watch, learn, grow, develop, and when it's their time, boom, they'll be ready to emerge. So Lane Kiffin has told you how he and Billy Glasscock are building this roster. They're either going to spend on elite-level high school talent that'll play immediately, or they're going to go after developmental guys. What you're not going to see is the high 4-star in a crowded position group that they're going to pay to get here, sit, and then have them leave. You're not going to see Lance Hurd ever again, where they go pay a 5-star, sits for a year at left tackle, then goes and plays 2 years at Tennessee, now is at Kentucky. LSU would rather be Kentucky in that scenario, where the guy's been in college for 3 years, been seasoned by someone else, and now you get him at his best, Jordan Seaton. I'm not saying you can afford to do that with every position across the board, but that's why you have positional value. What positions are you willing to spend the most amount of money, and where are you going to get that player? Is it DJ Pickett from the high school ranks? Is it Jordan Seaton from the transfer portal, or Sam Levitt? That's what they're balancing. But what's clear is they're not going to spend on high school players. They're going to come here and sit as freshmen. If they're going to spend on you out of high school, you got to play them. And you're seeing that throughout this evaluation and through the class they're building. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.